Chapter 72. Olim's vision. The three hearts, one within the other. And Abbedum promptly summoned Olim with the following words. Olim, you who cannot help it for sheer gratitude for my fatherly love, come to me and declare, like those preceding you, before us all, what you saw, perceived, and heard. But speak without fear and timidity, so that nothing remains unsaid. For everything is of great significance for you, as well as for all your brothers. And so open your mouth. Amen. And Olim promptly stepped forward and thanked from the bottom of his heart for the great grace that he too, like his brothers, was called, and then began to relate in a loud voice his vision, which for every human is surely of the utmost significance. But his narrative went as follows. Holy, most loving, alone, true and good Father, and you too, all my dear brothers, sisters, earthly fathers, mothers and children. Behold, the Most High has summoned me graciously to speak before him and you all. But truly, it is difficult to relate with words of the tongue that to which, at least to my limited knowledge, the whole earth cannot come up with anything similar. But I am of good cheer, for he who granted me to behold, feel, and hear this within me, will surely endow my usually heavy tongue with that agility which will enable me to express the inexpressible in as understandable as possible terms for you all. Yes, in truth, there shall never be an end to my gratitude to you, you most holy, most loving Father. For now my tongue has been truly loosened by you. Oh, do listen to it, all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, earthly fathers, mothers and children, and rejoice with me. For the Lord, our great God and most holy and loving Father, is good, gentle, and full of the greatest patience beyond our imagination. Wherefore, he has loosened my tongue, and is wanting to hear from my mouth what previously anyway he alone had aroused in my heart. Since, therefore, it is your holy will that I shall speak, I too will do with the greatest joy of my heart whatever is pleasing to you, holy, most loving Father. So listen, all of you, to what I miraculously beheld, felt, and faithfully perceived. At first, it sounded strange in my ears that I should look into my heart, and I found it practically impossible to put my head, which houses the eyes, somewhere into my body, there to contemplate my heart. However, as I was thus pondering over the possibility or impossibility of transporting my eyes into my body, I suddenly lost the sight of my eyes. But almost instantly it became again light within me, because I was seeing myself inwardly in the same way as I usually see myself outwardly in the light of the sun. Then again, I could not comprehend how that could be possible, having never experienced it before. But while I was thus pondering, my heart began to become quite transparent, and I soon saw 3 hearts which were inside one another, in the manner of the 3 kernels inside the thorny, rough chestnut fruit, namely, first the brown kernel of the skin, and in this the actual flesh or the fruit kernel, and only in this fruit kernel the tiny germ which constitutes the life, and in that the endless variety and multiplicity of its own kind. But soon the outer heart disintegrated and fell down into an endless depth, where it was entirely destroyed. And that was the outer material heart of the body. But the more inner substantial heart remained, and kept enlarging, because it was urged by the innermost, extremely luminous heart of the germ, which kept growing and thus increasing in size, just like the germ of a sown seed, which increases in size until it becomes a mighty tree. Thus it was also the case with this, my innermost germ heart. At first, it only looked like a heart, but when it kept growing larger, it assumed more and more a human form, and soon I recognized myself in this new man, who grew out of this my erstwhile innermost lightful germ heart. But at the sight of this man I thought, has this new heart man within me maybe also a heart? And behold, I became aware of the fact that this new man, too, had a heart in him. And this heart looked like a sun, and its light was 1,000-fold stronger than the light of the daily sun. As I kept gazing at this solar heart, I suddenly discovered in its centre a tiny, living image of you, O Holy Father. But I could not imagine how this might be possible. As I was pondering over this, suddenly I was seized by an inexpressible bliss. And your living image opened its mouth, saying to me the following words from the solar heart of the new man within me. Look up with your eyes, and you will soon realize whence and how I am now actively dwelling within you. And I promptly turned my eyes upward, and instantly saw in an endless depths of infinity also an immeasurably great sun, and in its centre you, personally, O Holy Father. And from you were coming innumerable, immensely bright rays, and one of these rays fell into the solar heart in the new man within me, thus forming a living you in me. Soon after, the new man of the germ heart stretched out his arm, trying to imprison me, the outer man. At this I became frightened, and this shock threw me back into my old dwelling. The material heart, which had earlier escaped, came again up out of the depth and placed itself once more around the two inner hearts. Once this had happened, the outer world became again visible to me, and the inner world disappeared. And this is all I saw, felt, and heard. O Holy Father, do accept this my surely very imperfect report graciously, and supplement what is imperfect in it, according to your holy will. Your will. Amen.